Welcome back, everybody. We're with Rick Sippola from Chautauqua Consulting. Rick, we were talking about Ryan Carroll, and he was a guest on the show, president of Lake City Plating. He was 19 years old and a freshman at Kent State University, and the company was not doing well. And his mother asked him to come back and run the company, see if they could bring it out of the doldrums, so to speak. And after about 3 months, he looked at the numbers, and you would be impressed by this, Mr. Sippola. He looked at the numbers and he said he was losing money on almost every order that went out. So he ended up doubling his prices overnight, 100% increase in the prices, lost 80% of his customers, and went from huge losses to profitability by basically firing 80% of his customers. And he said some of them they got back. Now it's a very good firm. Very solid financially. So what you were saying earlier on watching the numbers and don't be afraid to fire customers, Ryan pretty much will attest to that, that's for sure.
Well, and you got to give Ryan credit for not only making the tough call, but also for digging in and figuring out what his true costs were. And the only way he could figure out what he needed to do was to understand his cost, I'm sure.
That's it. That was the basic thing. So the numbers are very important.
Yeah, I talk to business owners time and time again who don't understand their cost or don't understand how to calculate their cost. And to me, it's second nature. It's kind of mind-boggling that people don't understand it, but everybody has their expertise. But I can tell you that the companies that truly understand their cost and how to reduce their costs in the right way are the ones that are highly successful in today's market.
Rick, you spoke at the Lake County Entrepreneurs Club meeting maybe a year ago. I can't remember.
Yeah, probably a year or two ago.
Rick was the guest speaker, and for those of you that don't know, Lake County Entrepreneurs Club meeting now meets at Andrews Osborne Academy on the last Wednesday of the month, and we'll put a plug in. Day after tomorrow, Congressman Stephen Lauderette will be speaking. But when Rick was speaking, it was really quite interesting. It was at the height of our credit crisis, where we think that our real unemployment was like 16 or 17%. And Rick had a lot of challenges to get through that. But one of the things that he mentioned in speaking was he ran the company based on, and this was Carnegie Body, based on critical numbers. He picked 3 or 4 numbers that he would watch weekly, monthly basis, and he could tell where his business was going, whether it was going up or was going down. He could watch his costs very closely. And I do remember many years ago, Rick, getting flash reports, and my critical numbers were bookings by the day, and the product mix, gross profit margins we made on these things, and of course invoicing and the inventory and where the inventory stood by the day. Because at the time we were in a surgical instrument company and we had like $1.5 million in inventory, and we had to watch every darn penny, and that's where it was. If you gave any advice to small business owners today, I think one of the things would be have some flash report. Have some very important critical number that you need to know on a weekly and sometimes on a daily basis. But what I'm going to ask Rick might be tough to answer because all businesses are different, but what would be a typical critical number that all small business owners should have almost on a daily basis?
Well, they should know how much their gross profit is month to date. And the reason I say that is that the gross, most people understand what their overhead numbers are, but they need to have a certain dollar figure of gross profits to each month to break even or make a profit. And so they need to focus on that and how they can maximize their gross profit dollars.
And it's month to day. Just keep on watching that every day and see how it fluctuates.
It's more important than sales. If I make 50% on one sale and I break even on another sale, but I'm cranking my sales dollars up, it doesn't matter. I'm just turning dollars. If I'm making 50% on every deal, then
that matters.
And it'll add up. And I need to know not what the percentage is, but the dollars. if my business requires $100,000 of gross profits each month to break even, then I need to make sure that every month I hit $100,000 or higher in gross profits.
And look at it every day.
Look at it every day.
Yeah.
Don't wake up 15 days or 30 days after the month's over and scratch your head and wonder why you lost money or made money. If you look at it every day, you'll know how much money you made before your accountant finishes the financial statement.
Folks, that is probably one of the best pieces of advice we've had in doing this radio show. Watch that gross profit on a monthly basis.